Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what you need to be doing right now is, so we have gone over and I have checked that in your homework you had at least 2 of these with your quotes somewhere, okay? I wasn't very picky on the citation part because we're going to go over more of that later, but I want you to start getting that in your head. So if I told you that you had some of these to correct, you may have just finished now while we're reading, and if you did not, you need to finish these, okay?
Homework?
If you did not have them in initially. Did I check yours already?
Yeah.
Okay, so did I tell you you need to fix it, or did you fix it?
I fixed it.
Okay, so some of you already fixed, and some of you still need to be fixing, okay? So what we're going to do today then is we're going to talk about analyzing evidence. So if you have not already downloaded this one called Ways to Analyze Evidence, you need to do that and open it right now. Do that and open it right now. So yours will look like this. It is 2 pages. And it says Ways to Analyze Evidence. So I will know that you have it because I will see that you are looking at it on your iPad. Okay. Make sure that you have that. So I know that this is not as intuitive, but I want to look at the second page first. So could you go to the second page? Do you recognize this? Have you seen it before?
Yes.
This outline? Yes. And so we're going to continue to talk about this now that we're practicing, or we're making our practice essay. So would you please zoom in on body paragraph number 1, since it's exactly the same as body paragraph number 2, please? All right. So body paragraph number 1, it's in blue. Do you see it? So what I want you to be looking at right now is part C. We have been searching for evidence, but we have missed a part. What goes with evidence that we haven't talked about yet? What goes with evidence that we haven't talked about yet?
The interpretation?
The interpretation or the analysis. So I'd like for you guys to write next to this word analysis, write in your own handwriting. Yes, I want you to write it interpretation. So for this case, interpretation and analysis are synonyms for this part. So you're going to have your quote or have your evidence like I just checked as I went around. But after you do that, you need to have the interpretation or analysis. So if you notice, they go right next to each other. In fact, which one goes first?
Evidence.
The evidence, and then right after it, not 2 or 3 or 4 sentences later, right after it, goes your analysis or interpretation of that evidence. Okay?
Facts
So, say it again.
the facts and examples.
The facts or example are your evidence. This is your evidence. Okay? This is your evidence. In fact, most of us have quotes or statistics, right? This is your evidence. Immediately after it, the next sentence is where you put your analysis or interpretation. Now, look at all these in the yellow. What are these? What are these? Look on your outline. Yeah, they're examples of what?
Of work.
Of interpretation or
Starters?
analysis. They are starters. Some of you might have already included some of these, and some of you might be like, Miss, I don't know how to start an interpretation. I've given you some helpers. Before you do that, I'd like you to open up your flash draft. Stop where you are and look at your flash draft. Since we were just looking, when I came around during reading time, since we were just looking at your facts or your quotes or your statistics, your examples, we were just looking at your evidence, I want you to look at both of your pieces of evidence and see if on either of them, immediately after it, you put your interpretation sentence. Okay? Give me a thumbs up if you're like, yeah, Miss, I remember from last year's Spanish class, I did it on both. Or a sideways, maybe I sort of, but I didn't really do it. Or, Miss, you didn't teach us this yet, so I didn't put it at all. Show me where you are.
I think yes.
Show me where you are. Okay, so as I expected, most of us are either here or here. There's a few of you who had this, yes. I said here. Most of us are either here or here, okay? And that's okay because we hadn't gotten to this yet. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to let you use these starter examples for analysis or interpretation. Some of you will be content to use these. Some of you are beyond these. I'd like you to scroll back to the top. What we have on this first page is just a bigger list of the things in yellow. I could not put all of those things in yellow on the chart, on the outline. But there are many, many more here. In fact, some of you might have been ready to work on your counters and put your quote there, and you could even use one of these quotes that show a contrast. So, think about what you had and what you didn't have. Here are your jobs right now. 1, if you were thumbs up, and you were like, Miss, I already did it! What I'd like for you to do is look at the ones you started with and see if you could use one that you don't normally use but challenge yourself to try. If your thumb was like this, sideways, add or fix what you had for whatever wasn't quite right and leave the ones that were. If your thumb was like this, find 2. You can look on the yellows, but there are more here. Find 2 that you could add. Before we do this, I'd like for you to think in your head right now where this new sentence that you add is going to go. When you think you have the answer, raise your hand. Where will both of these new sentences go? When you think you have it, raise your hand. When you think you know where they will go in your essay or in your paragraph, raise your hand. Okay, I'd like for you to talk about it at your table and see if you are both right, and then I'll give you the answer afterwards just in case nobody was right. Where will they go in your paragraph? Where will they go? Talk about it at your table. Okay guys, so let's talk about this. Let's make sure we're all right. Where in your paragraph does the analysis sentence that you're going to write or fix go? Liam?
Right after your evidence.
Right after your evidence. So go looking for your evidence and immediately in your head think, the next sentence, boom, that's where I put this. Do that twice because I've already checked that you had at least 2 evidences, right? Maybe one is paraphrase, maybe one is a quote. So you need to be adding these in. In case you're confused, I'm going to leave this up here. It goes, your quote or your example, and then boom, the next sentence, the analysis. Questions?
Can it be one that you didn't check?
Yes, if you had more, yes. All right, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to do this. I'm going to leave this up here and come around. And then we're going to go to another part after this. Okay, we need to switch directions, and you need to get on to my haiku. We need to get on to my haiku. All right, so if you did not notice already, you should have written your homework, Reflection on Practice Writings by 7:30. So you have homework. It will be on the haiku. Yes. But you're not turning it in on the haiku Dropbox. We're going to be adding something to our e-portfolio. So before we do that, on my haiku for today, there is a headline in blue and 4 questions. Do you see it?
Yes.
Select it
And copy it.
and copy it.
And do it.
But we have to put it there first. Select it and copy it. So here's what we're going to do. You need to go on to your e-portfolio. Boys in the back. Quickly get to your haiku. You need to get onto your e-portfolio. On your e-portfolio, you are going to click Add a Page because we do not have one yet. What is the unit we're working on?
Argumentative.
So your page is going to be called Argumentative Writing. Underneath that, you are going to click Add a Content Block. When you do that, it will ask you what kind. What kind do we usually want? Files. Good job. So you will click Files, and you will call that content block Practice Writings. We have 2 practice writings so far. One is your flash draft. Does anybody remember what the other one is? What's the very first one we did?
On demand.
On demand. So you will put in this content block called practice writings, you will paste in your reflection, but you will also add 2 files. The first file is your on demand. The second file is your flash draft. Paste in these questions. Is that all you have to do is just paste it?
And
The content
And do it.
blog is the blog title.
There's 2 things. Did you get content block? Yeah. Okay. So make sure that you save. I recommend, as it has happened to some of you, that you save after a few steps. Don't write the whole thing and then have it hit save and then freeze. Once in a while that happens. So you should have a content block underneath argumentative writing called practice writings. Paste this in that you got from my haiku and attach these 2 documents. Your on demand, I took the names out just so you guys can see. On demand and flash draft. Those are the only practice writings we have right now.
But how you add them?
How you add them?
You need to finish that before you leave. Folks, when is this homework due? Tomorrow. It is 4 questions. They are pretty simple, but they do require you to think about your progress.